Okay, so this is a quick little first look of mine at the Garmin Edge 1030 cycle computer, and comes in a nice pretty gray box here, the really pretty full color picture of the computer, and the side of the box has the side view, things that are in the box. So basically I like this. This Garmin product is engineered on the inside for life on the outside. Open, activate, and enjoy. Navigation alerts, performance metrics, rider-to-rider messaging, group track, and incident detection. So I think group track, well, I don't know, I think these are all brand new features to this device over the 1000. Navigation alerts, performance metric, new performance metrics, rider-to-rider messaging, group tracking, so your friends who are also using Edge 1030s, you can keep track of where each other are if you get separated. Might be really handy for mountain biking. Incident detection, if you hit the dirt, hit the ground, and get hurt really badly, you can't get up. When the countdown timer finishes running, assuming it's paired to your phone, it can call your emergency contact and notify that person of your whereabouts. It's really awesome. And look at this 20-hour estimated battery life. Big 3.5-inch display. It's larger than the display on the 1000, although the device itself is dimensionally not really any larger than the 1000. A little bit heftier at 123 grams. Some of the new performance metrics, you'll be looking at stuff like this: VO2 max, training load, recovery time, your FTP both in wattage and watts per kilogram. Very nice. Available two different ways: as a head unit only, which I think basically contains a head unit and a charging cable and a tether, a safety tether, and then the bundle. And the bundle contains the head unit and out front mount, standard mount, speed sensor, cadence sensor, premium heart rate monitor, tether, USB cable, and manual. Let's see, this should have some mounts too. I think it comes with the out front mount. Yeah, the 1030, the out front mount, the standard mount, the tether, and the USB cable. Just no sensors, no heart rate monitor, no speed sensor, no cadence sensor. The bundle comes with everything. And slide that open. And really beautiful instrument, precision instrument here right in the top. You can see it has some packing on here. I'm not going to power this one up because it isn't mine, but I do have some footage I shot where the Garmin rep came by and showed me his personal unit, which was powered up, and I got to play with it some, and I have some footage there you can spy on that. This is interesting. This little door looks like a battery door, but it's not. That is to access a weatherproof door to access the micro SD card slot. And then down here, your standard Garmin mount. On the very bottom, see these little contacts? Garmin is going to release an external battery. So if the 20 hours of runtime aren't enough for you, those of you RAM people and extreme ultra distance cyclists, 24-hour racers and so forth, Garmin will have this will basically sit on top of the out front mount, and they'll have an external battery that quarter turns into the bottom underneath the head unit, and this will connect them, so you'll get extra battery life out of it that way. You can increase the runtime, I think, by double, but don't stick me to that, don't hold me to that, which should be enough. Most people are not going to ride 40 hours or even 35 in a sitting, although I'm sure I'll probably hear from a few people who do. There your quarter turn mount and lots of those rubber band doohickeys, your charging cable. See, the safety cutter is in here. Like some little grommets, rubber grommets for handlebar diameter, handlebar reducers. So to use the out front mount, which is sized for your oversized 31.8, 31.6 I think, millimeter handlebar. And this sizes it down if, for those of you who might be putting your $600 US dollar Garmin Edge 1030 onto a 1980s era bicycle or 1990s era bicycle with a 26mm Chinelli handlebar, and there are reducers for that. And then this is the bundle, and it's $100 more than the head unit alone. And this has the premium heart rate strap, the latest version of it, and heart rate sensor, premium heart rate strap and sensor, your cadence and speed sensors, all of your other little stretchy doohickeys hold everything down, a charging cable, a tether, and out front mount. Garmin, apparently, from what the sales rep was telling me, they have fixed that, and he actually allowed me to take his personal Edge 1030 and hold it under running water, under a faucet of running water, and manipulate the touchscreen, and I gotta say, I was impressed. It worked quite well. The first initial kind of blast of water to strike the screen did set off a touch, and I think that's to be expected with a capacitive touch screen, no matter how you tweak your software. It did set off a touch just once, but then none of the other water droplets or splashing were activating the device. And the screen was very responsive. It did not go into an auto lock mode of any kind, and there we go, packaged perfectly. It did not go into an auto lock of any kind that needed to be unlocked, and it did work beautifully, and the screen was still very readable. I took it outside in the bright Texas sun, and it was easy to read and manipulate the screen. I took his device out in the sun and manipulated. Unfortunately, I don't have video of it, but I went into navigation and create a course from scratch. I punched in 60 miles and starting at my location and hit go, and within seconds I was looking at 3 possible road courses. And one of the things that they've improved is on the courses that it selects for you over what they were doing on the 1000, and it's called Trendline Popularity Routing. And I'll just kind of read along with you here if I can hold this still. It's been a long day. Billions of miles of riding data from Garmin Connect. Garmin is now able to access that data and pick out the most commonly used routes and trails and roads, and those most commonly ridden roads and paths in your area are where it will route you. So if you're on a road bike and you're selecting a ride in road mode, and you're in road mode here, not off-road, and then you go to navigation. It's only going to navigate you on roads that people have been riding on road bikes, and logging to their road bikes. And if you're in mountain bike road mode and go to navigation, then it's only going to route you on places where people have been mountain biking. You're probably going to still see some shared use trails pop up and stuff like that. I would imagine it's bound to happen, but I can see how that could be a very handy feature for people, not necessarily the fact that it might occasionally route you on a bike path, but the fact that the courses it creates for you will be based on the most popular courses from Garmin Connect. I can see that being a really handy feature for someone riding in an unfamiliar place. You're new to town and you don't know where to go, let Garmin help you out. If you're traveling and you want to go for a ride and you're not sure exactly where to go, Garmin can help you out with that. And if you're riding cross country, and say the maps that you've gotten downloaded from your club you belong to for your cross country route or suddenly take you to a closed road, Garmin can reroute you around that to your destination, to your stopping point, and get you to the B&B before dinner. So I think that would be awesome. It can also, help you find the nearest restaurants and all the wonderful things that they've always done with travel. And GPS is what Garmin does. It's nice that they're getting more bicycle specific with the functionality of their routing for their bicycle devices, and for people who are really training geeks, and you don't need to be a pro racer to make use of this kind of information. There are a lot of people who are, like me, they're mammals. They're middle-aged men in Lycra, trying not to get too fat, and we're doing training plans with Trainer Road or the Sufferfest, or we have a coaching program that we're working off of, and all of that integrates beautifully with the Edge 1030. So I'm going to turn you over now to some of the footage I took messing with the one that belonged to the rep, and his is a little beat up along this edge because he actually has been mountain biking with it quite a bit, and he dropped it on the pavement a few times while riding road. Nice guy. Maybe not the most careful. Maybe he needs to use the little leash that comes with it. Maybe his pre-production did not come with a safety leash. But then Garmin is also going to sell their rubberized case for the 1030, just like they've been doing for their other devices throughout the years. And I have one on my 810 that has saved my 810 many times. Oh, another feature, this screen surface, it's ever so slightly, just a millimeter or so recessed, so this outer white bezel actually protrudes upwards just a little bit from the screen, so if you were to lay it down on its face, the glass would not actually be touching the table or the road. So that's a good feature, and that's one of the things he was telling me about, how his is kind of scarred up here where it hit the deck, but it didn't damage the screen, which is good. I'm not going to guarantee, I'm not going to suggest you go around dropping your Edge 1030 or throwing it on the ground, on the street or anything, or rocks. I would definitely not recommend doing that, but enjoy the footage. One of the features I noticed too, he had his 1000 right next to it, and I noticed just a tiny bit of lag in the response time of the 1000 compared to the 1030. The responsiveness to my touch and swiping and selecting was much more instantaneous on the 1030. So maybe we're dealing with a little more processing power, a little more memory. It was definitely just a touch more quick and responsive than the 1000, and it was absolutely phenomenal under running water and splashing water, not a problem at all. So enjoy that footage, and until next time, keep the rubber side down and the kilometers up, and have a great day and a beautiful bicycle ride. Take care.